Hello, everyone. This is Priya Seetharaman, founder, admin of the Women's Inc. Women's Inc. is a platform, online global platform for women entrepreneurs across the globe to network, come together, connect with each other, and supporting the fellow entrepreneurs and growing together to scale up your business. On account of International Women's Day, uh, we have launched the online virtual the talk show series Rising Beyond Barriers. So that's a concept, inviting one and all women entrepreneurs and men entrepreneurs who rose above and beyond barriers from their comfort of their place. So today is our first episode, the talk show series. We welcome an entrepreneur, Ms. Sharmila Suresh, founder of Abacus Master Canada. We will take a minute to invite her. We're waiting for our guest. Ms. Sharmila Suresh is the founder of Abacus Master Canada. Let us welcome our esteemed guest for our talk show series today with us. Thank you so much. Warm welcome to you, Ms. Sharmila Suresh.
Thank you so much, Priya, for having me here today.
Yeah, it's the first one of its kind talk show series where we are going to have entrepreneurs every week coming and talking and sharing about their entrepreneurial journey. Tell us about yourself. What do you do in a brief note, Ms. Sharmila?
So once again, thank you, Priya, for having me here today. So I'm a mom of two beautiful daughters. At this time running a learning center under the name of SNS Learning Center. And we conduct mental math classes for children grade 1 and above. And also we are in the process of introducing robotics and coding as well as a part of a diversification plan.
Okay, that's nice. I mean, it's a great thing for kids classes, right?
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, okay. How did you begin your entrepreneurial venture, your journey, and how did the ideas work in the first place?
So basically, this learning center was a mastermind, planned by my husband. Okay, so he started off this business to just add a little bit of more financial stability to the family. Okay, and then at the time when he started, I was already working a full-time job. I was working at London Drugs initially in the retail, in the sales platform. And then later on, I went into the corporate world as a corporate recruiter. So I was working a full-time job. And at that time, I was supporting him, just maintain the business. And slowly, as time went by, I became more and more engaged. And right now, this is what I do full-time.
Okay, okay. How long you've been in Canada?
So it's been 11 years in Canada, right now in BC. So for the past 2 years in BC, and before that we were in Alberta, Edmonton.
Okay. And your venture, your company is into existence since how long?
Sorry?
Your company, your venture, your
Yes.
entrepreneurial venture. So since how long you've been
It
into this?
started in 2017. We started off this in 2017. And we started off with one single center in Edmonton. And then slowly we grew, and then we attained the master franchise for Canada. And now we are successfully conducting offline and online classes throughout Canada.
Wow. Okay. What are the challenges, if you have to mention anything, what you faced earlier since the beginning, or you're still facing? So, what did you learn from it, and how did you overcome?
So the challenges that came to me was in different stages of life, right? So I would like to give you a little bit of a background about where I come from and what I am today. Okay, so I always was a stay-at-home mom, and then when my children grew and they started to go to school, my husband always felt that I was not utilizing my potentiality to the fullest. So he is the sole force, who pushed me and kept challenging me, uh, and then also with the various experience that we have in our lives, right? So life is full of challenges. So what happened is my first full-time job started when I came to Canada.
Mhm.
Okay, I was never a career-oriented person. So necessity is the mother of invention, they always say. So me getting into a career, the work side force was after coming to Canada because it was a necessity where we are in a new country. And of course here, both the spouses have to work in order to maintain the family. So the first challenge was that for me, okay,
Right.
personally, to come out of the cocoon of remaining a wife, a mom, a daughter-in-law, a daughter, to the career world. So
Best
uh,
example of breaking barriers and
yes,
possibilities.
exactly. It was very, very tough for me because I never thought I would ever have a career for myself. My happiness was always taking care of the family and so on. So that it took a while. So while I was learning to balance both family and home, and when I started in retail, it was like, when if you know retail, it's shift duties. It's not, just a certain time of the day. So you'll have shifts and everything. And my children were still small at that time. So somehow, with the experiences, I did overcome that. And
Mm.
then the next challenge that came to me was, when, I was climbing up the ladder pretty quickly. So very
Mm.
quickly, within a year of me joining London Drugs, I was promoted into store management, becoming a department manager.
Okay.
Right. So I started with that. And that was again a challenge to balance. Of course, by this time I had learned to match the time between, devoting my time between work and family. But then the work was demanding more because my responsibility is more. So that I had to change with a lot of attitude. I mean, to maintain my attitude and, and way to manage the pressure.
Mhm.
So so that also with my experiences over a period of time, I would also like to mention about, getting the chance of working with some great leaders. So they always say there is a difference between a boss and a leader. Any of the managers that I have worked, of course I had some people who had given a tough time too, but there are most of them, they helped me and molded me to be the person I am today. So if you look at a Sharmila 11 years back, people who know me, they would have known me as a very timid person, very satisfied with life and just taking care of the family. But that with the people that I worked, and they worked along with me, and gave me so much of confidence and support, criticizing me in areas where I needed to improve, which I always took with a pinch of salt. It's always difficult when you hear criticism, but that is also something I'm glad they did, because I worked towards that.
Yeah.
But always when I was in the retail field, I did a little bit of recruiting, as I mean, just volunteering in a recruiting firm back when I was in Dubai before I came to Canada. So
Mhm.
that was the first step of, just trying to be with the outside world and see how it looks like. So when I
Mhm.
came in, I always wanted to somehow get into recruiting because I had developed a passion for that.
Okay.
So because there is so much of internal development that London Drugs does with the employees, I had already spoken to my managers and whoever the person was in charge, that this is where I want to be and this is where I see myself in the next 5 years. So there was a lot of hardship that I had to go through, and I had two options to move my career, either towards store management or towards recruiting. And exactly after 5 years is what happened. I prepared for the role, I interviewed for the role, and then I got appointed as a corporate recruiter in London Drugs. So I was there with the company for 7 years. So that is a little bit of a journey there. But then what happened was, work is work, right? So it was kind of getting a little bit difficult for me to manage family, work, and also the business that I was doing, right? So initially I was very part-time. I just used to go help my husband and get back. But there was a situation where I had to manage it all by myself, because my husband's job became more demanding and he was not able to spend as much as time he could do into the day-to-day. So even though I loved the job that I did at London Drugs, I mean, it was a very difficult decision. So I had to let go one. Obviously, there's no way I can let go family. Business is something we have just established. And then I had to take a tough call to quit the job that I loved a lot. So I did that, and so I did that, and from then I have been full-time in business, and I would very proudly say that whatever I learned in London Drugs for the past 7 years that I worked there, that definitely gave me the confidence and to present myself the way I am today.
So you officially took over probably last 2 years?
I was there. So slowly, when we started in 2017, I mean, the business was also growing. So you could say that I was, I had my legs on both sides of the bridge. So I was trying to balance. But now the business is also growing, and also with the master franchise all over Canada. And with my husband, his own personal career being more demanding, so someone had to step in. And so as a family, we decided that I would be the one who would quit the job, because it started affecting my health and I was feeling burnout too, not being able to manage everything together. So and then, now I've been, sorry?
The experience, what you gained from the work experiences that you've gained, so that prepared you, right? That molded you.
Absolutely, because I would always say that anybody who comes new to this country, right, they should definitely work a year in retail or, a very customer-facing oriented job, because being new to the country, you're very new to the culture, and when you are in such an environment, you tend to meet people from all walks of life, the good, bad, ugly, easy, everything. So that helped me learn a lot about the culture, right? So of course I had to begin from scratch. I mean, in London Drugs and also in Abacus Master, we started from scratch, but I'm glad I began from scratch, because I know the nitty-gritty things of every level, every step. So, so that helps me manage the business now with a better perspective and understanding from a student's point of view, from a teacher's point of view, from a parent's point of view, right? And trying to put myself in their positions as the situation demands. So all these things to be able to balance and understand and interact with the community here, the way the community accepts and is used to things is what I learned a lot.
Very nice. Interesting and inspiring too.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But what is your daily life, your work schedule looks like, and what are your daily goals? How do you plan to achieve it? If you can
Yeah. So
share.
the daily goals usually I mean, of course, I'm a very, very morning person. My battery dies down as evening dawns. so, so having business, so there are different demands that we have to fulfill as a business entrepreneur. One is, getting inquiries where parents call us and ask us about the program. And then, there are lots of meetings or demo classes that we need to do with the students. That is there. Then the regular classes, usually because it's an after school program, my actual work with the students starts, say from 2 o'clock sometimes, because we have some students from Ontario, like the Eastern time zone as well. So mornings are, family, and then kitchen work, and then at the same time multitasking a lot because there are times when I have meetings in the mornings with parents, or also where we are trying to expand the business and looking for partnerships, or we are also trying to hire new teachers, so interviews per se, so that goes on. There is also a lot of training that happens over in the meantime, so that we do much better in what we are doing. So it's a little bit of everything, and of course there's a lot of multitasking that goes on in the first part of the day. Yeah, right. So business is when one has a business, I feel we're working 24/7, right?
Yes.
Because it is the demand of the business. But I also make sure that I make some time for myself, self-care, which I learned it in a very, very hard way. Previously, I used to put others, the family first and then me, but now I have learned it in the hard way that if I am not okay, I won't be able to take care of my family or the business, right? So if you want to ask me, the best way of de-stressing myself is music. I sing. Singing is my passion. So
I was coming to that.
yeah, so singing is a passion for me. So usually, when I get post lunchtime, if I get an hour or something, I try to sing, or even say I had a very bad day, and before going to sleep, if I just sing one song, it totally changes my mood. So I think I would suggest that anybody should have one hobby or something, a passion that they love to do. If not, find one. And more than anything else, I think that de-stresses you, because that is something that you do out of enjoyment, right? So
even if you're not an entrepreneur, or you're a full-time mom or a woman, stress busters are the ones who which keeps us going. You need to de-stress on a every day, on a regular basis. Otherwise, we will get caught up in the mental health disorders or illnesses or depressive disorders. So
yeah, absolutely. And I was at that stage at one point of time where I said, like, I was doing too much, and, I was confident of doing, but then there is so much as a human being one could do. Initially, I did not listen to my body, did not listen to my mind. I was just, running the rat race like anybody else. But then at one point, when I had the burnout, um, I'm glad that I listened to my body at that time, and my family has always been very, very, very supportive. So that 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 specific incident has taught me about how self-care is so important, right? That even when you go in the flight, the first thing is when they ask you to put on the mask, they tell you to put it on you first and then help the others. This is a simple example of that, right? So only if we are able to take care of ourselves are we able to take care of our family, our beloved ones, and at the same time, the work or business that we do.
Very true, well said. And what have been your significant failures, and what did you learn from them?
I have learned to not use the word failure. Okay, so I call them challenges, and this is again something that I've learned from one of my managers. I really call them the leaders. So when we feel a failure, when something we want to do and we don't get it, right, that feels like a failure. But
A stepping stone.
yes, so it did happen. My first failure was when I said I was in London Drugs and I was trying to up the ladder. I had a opportunity to be in the next level of store management as uh, uh, the next level of store management, and I interviewed for that and I was not selected. Okay, so that broke my heart like anything, because I worked so much towards it. But that also taught me that there are people who are better than you, and there's a reason why that I was not selected. I had to do a little more. Okay, and then of course I also received a feedback from the district manager. I mean, never would a district manager call an employee and give his input. So he called me separately and he spoke to me and he told me reasons why I was not there yet, and there are little things that I need to work on. So when I did that, but then what happened is, couple of months down the line, the position for the corporate recruiter opened, and I applied and I got selected. So that was, of course, you can say, which felt like a failure at that time. But I think that, I mean, there was something else better in store for me, and I'm glad I had that failure. And then I went into a role that I was looking for a long time.
It's coming on to you. I mean,
Yeah, and of course, I always feel it's the work that speaks, right? When you're in a company or any work-based scenario, it's always your work that speaks. And also, they say that a higher attitude trains skills, right? So attitude is something that comes from within, and that is just etched in my heart. So only if we have the right attitude and whatever we do with passion and if we enjoy that, then life becomes much easier. So I had to change. I had to change the way I thought about it. Of course, I did cry in one corner for 2 or 3 days, but then I decided to just, buck up and then get up and then do what I need to do to move to the next step.
Yeah, these are real life lessons for us, and they teach us a lot. They're
Yes.
not failures, as you said. I mean, they are the challenges that prepare us.
Yeah. So, but of course, I had to, as I said, I majorly had to change the attitude, the way I looked at things, and and the way to be calm and composed and do what you need to do where you want to get to. That was a challenge that I would say with my work life. But then with the business, what happened? Remember, I told you that I had to make a difficult choice of quitting my much loved job at London Drugs as corporate recruiter, coming full time into the business because the business was really growing. And that is when I quit everything, the pandemic happened. So like any other businesses, we had to shut off our center in Edmonton, and we were really scared of our existence. What are we going to do? How are we going to survive? Okay. And then I remember having a meeting with my husband. I said, I'm going to try online. Never ever have we did online. I just took a chance. And I remember all of us, me and my daughter, calling all the parents and asking them if they would be interested online. And because of the reputation that we had and the comfort level that the parents had with us, and also with COVID, all the other activities shutting down, the parents were very happy. Oh my God, thank goodness, 2 hours, they'll do at least something productive. So what happened is 100% I was able to convert all my students online. Okay. And when that happened, when the pandemic happened, and now today, because of that, I'm able to run the program both online and in person. Okay, a blessing in disguise. Okay, so it gave us an opportunity which we never thought about. And now with everything getting back to normal and trying to getting back to in person, there are so many parents who are very comfortable with the online module. Now the challenge I'm facing is trying to bring the in-person back into place, because for 2 years, all of us mostly were, working from home, everything was online, and people have gotten very comfortable with it. But then, of course, there is nothing like in-person interaction as well. So that's where we are at, right? So right now, as I said, it was a blessing, a boon for us to have introduced the online module and now being able to cater to both clientele. And then right now, the goal towards which we are working on is having more centers. And now, since we have all over Canada, trying to open as many centers as we can in all the cities in Canada.
Okay, wow, that was, I was coming to the next question. So you've answered me. Do you plan to recruit people on board? Do you plan to have a team? If yes, what are the qualities? What is the criteria that you would look out in employing and recruiting people? What is it that you actually looking out for?
Yeah. So definitely, as I said, with the growing business now, we are needing more people. So in the sense that we are looking for part-time instructors who are willing to, teach both online and in person. So right now, being in BC, I'm looking for somebody who is here in BC and is able to cater to both our online and in-person needs. Okay, so anybody who's looking for a part-time opportunity, is passionate towards teaching or likes teaching, is more than welcome to reach out to us. Training for this program, if whoever we hire, the training will be provided by us. We train them. And then as long as they're available for the hours that the business is needing, then that's what we're looking for. The second part to it is we're looking for franchise partners. Okay. Now, with the Master Franchise of Canada, we can be everywhere, right? So now we are looking for like-minded people who are passionate about what we do, and then are looking for something, either say as something like the way we started this, for a little more financial stability in the business, or if somebody wants to be their own boss and manage their time. So this could be an opportunity. So recently we got an opportunity like that, and we have partnered with somebody in Oshawa, Ontario. Okay. So we do have, that was the first franchise partner that we have, and they're successfully running classes there. So similarly, we're looking. Yeah, thank you. So and the people who are with us are very much like what we were looking for, share the same goals and vision that we do, and very passionate about what they do. And anybody for this, if anybody does have a full-time job and still wants to do something, this could be one as well. I did it with both me and my husband. We did this with a full-time job, but I quit mine because just to meet the needs of the business.
Okay. Yeah. My next question to you, Ms. Sharmila, what were your business, what were your barriers that you had to overcome, or in your business specifically? How did you overcome? How did you rise above?
So obviously, to set up anything, one has to overcome a lot of challenges. When we started in 2017, the first challenge that we had was finding a specific place to run the classes, because this is an after-school program and with children, right? Children come all types, noisy, quiet, naughty, right? So it's noisy when you do anything with children, okay? And that's how the way it should be. But it was very, very difficult to find a place that allowed us to be with children, okay? So finally, we found a place, but then when you found the place, we are paying the rent. We started off with 2 students for more than 3 months. We just had 2 students. We are paying rent, okay? We're paying everything else, for the material and the royalty and everything, but we just had 2 students. But then slowly, when we put ourselves out there and we started advertising, we started growing, right? And that's when started off with, it was then called Abacus Master Edmonton. Okay. So that is how we started with 1. And then what happened was, when we got the master franchise, then it was renamed as Abacus Master Canada, right? And right now the challenge still remains with finding a proper place for us, so that we are able to take classes peacefully with the children. And also, as I told you, the switch from in person to online, and now again back to in person.
Exactly.
To change that, mood set of the parents and the children, that is one of the challenges we are also facing at this time. But we're very, very confident. It's just a matter of time. Right now, after after all these 5 years or close to 6 years of being in this business, people recognize us. They know us, right? And that itself, I feel, is a big success. But there's a long way to go, right?
Long
This is
way.
we are tirelessly working and trying to see what we could do so that we grow more and more along with the support of the others.
In times of adversity, how do you keep yourself composed, or how do you plan to keep growing and continue what you're doing, not losing the sanity?
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, First thing is, I try to maintain a positive attitude all the time. Okay. And also something that I've learned is, even if I have to say a sentence in negative way, being assertive about it, not using a not, but being assertive the way we communicate a sentence, right? And then be self-ambitious, right? Train yourselves well, and then if there's a challenge, face it, maybe wallow over it for a little bit, but then just just buckle up, stand up, and then face the challenges, because people who know me, they might have heard the sentence I say all the time, like if there's a problem, either you cry in one corner or you stand up and face it. Okay. And that is where I am at. So of course I do have my times where I break down. I'm not a rock, but then also I allow myself to have that time. Even if I have to shed some tears and cry over it, I do that. Speak to somebody. But also the fact is, my problem is my problem. There are people who can support me, assist me, but ultimately the decision is mine as to which direction I want to take it to. Right. So maintaining a positive attitude, and then being very optimistic about it, about whatever happens, but always be prepared for the worst, right? Or being over prepared. So anytime I take any action, I always think about what could be the worst scenario and the best scenario, and try to prepare myself as to, if the situation arises, then what could I do? But of course, there are times when we come with sudden problems, and then you have to deal with those. So that comes out of maturity as well, right? But overall, above all this self-care, right? I make sure that I keep some time for myself. And for me, as I told you, music is the best way I de-stress. So I make sure I make some time for myself also, which boosts my confidence, keeps me happy from the inner self, and also being very passionate about what I do. Few
Yeah.
things, anything that I started was out of necessity, but I changed that into my passion. When I worked at London Drugs in retail or as a corporate recruiter, I loved my job. Even though it had its challenge, I loved my job. I wanted to be there. Even now, as a teacher, or when I conduct classes, or when I'm interacting with parents, I love what I do. Right? It comes from the inside. So
Yeah.
automatically it gives me that strength, no matter what, I'm going to move forward. And of course, a very, very supportive family, my husband, my in-laws, and my parents, who obviously gave me the roots, uh, so all these things, I'm blessed with everything. So no complaints.
That's a positive way to look at life and
Yes,
count your blessings. When we are grateful and when we show gratitude to ourselves and to the things around, to people around, we attract the abundance. We manifest everything what we want.
exactly.
And being self-satisfied, and also at the same time, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, and we won't be able to sustain it in the long run. So that's very important,
Obviously.
like you
Yes,
said.
yeah.
So your final thoughts, and any advice you would like to give it to the people, because I think Canada is there are n number of immigrants every day, every week, every month. So what would be your best advice to people who are starting out fresh in a new country, and to the budding entrepreneurs? What are your thoughts and advice?
Yes. So any like me or anyone who came to this country, right? Uh, we always have a challenge of not getting a job in the line that we are used to, right? But I always say, keep it as an open book. Be open. Try to get into any opportunity that you can. Set your foot down, and that also helps you learn the culture of the new country and the pace at which the people work here, right? So first few years should be, there is struggle. It's not easy. As I told you, I started from scratch. I was a cashier when I joined London Drugs, trust me.
Mm-hmm.
It is hours of standing at the till, okay, dealing with customers, good, bad, ugly. Initially, it used to hurt my legs. I used to cry and then get back home and take care of my young children who were back from school, right? So, but then again, as I told you, those hardships and everything showed me the positive side of this of the work, right? So I got to know the culture. In turn, I got to work with some amazing people in the company who really helped me grow selflessly. And when they saw that I was trying hard to come forward, they were always there anytime for me, right? So here there are opportunities, okay? Nobody would come to you with a silver platter and serve it to you. Here,
Yeah.
the thing is you have to go and ask for help and make use of the opportunities that you see, baby steps, and then slowly, once you gain the experience, then automatically things already fall in place. It's not easy, it's a struggle, but then if one has the determination, passion, dedication, and discipline, right, with an open mind, and as I said, with the right attitude, no stones can be left unturned. That's my experience. I've learned.
Perfect. Rightly said. So true. And what an inspiring journey. I mean, truly, from a stay-at-home mom to career-oriented and then into business entrepreneurship is truly amazing with all your hard work. And you've learned it the hard way, and you started to, very well, very nicely, neatly explained, and lot to learn from your journey, your beautiful tips. I think I suppose this is a initiative so that we can inspire more and more women, young women or men, young entrepreneurs who are stepping into the entrepreneurship journey. I think people will learn, and it might motivate them. So that is our aim and motto of this show coming online. And thank you so much for giving us your time and sharing your journey, inspirational journey with us, rising beyond barriers. Thank you. And we wish you all the very best. And congratulations on your whatever you achieved so far. That's a big salute from us. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Priya. And also, I would like to thank you and applaud you for the commendable job that you're doing. You yourselves are new to this country and trying to get all of us together and, with a lot of agenda that you have. So I'm very excited to be part of the group and looking
The
forward
trust.
to, yeah, and looking forward to many more opportunities like this to work together and of course to give back to the community. We learn from each other, and
Yes.
then that I think that's what you and I are here for. So
Yeah, so true. Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you. Bye. Good day.
thank you.